I wasn't wearing this hat at the paint factory. I'm wearing this hat because I don't know if I have like urethane in my hair because I didn't shower after work, which is also why I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be stanky. So it's like a test run. I have to see how tired I am tomorrow, and I had to see if I was stanky.
Okay.
So if either of those fail, I can't do weeklies because, you know.
You're not stinky, don't worry.
Okay. We just have to see how tired I am tomorrow morning then.
Wait, well, what is tiredness? Is that?
Sleeping. I mean, I get up at like
Oh,
5:30 to 5:15 in the morning, so.
I don't know if the urethane like made you sleepy for whatever reason.
Some of the stuff there can make you, especially if you breathe it in.
I was gonna say, I can imagine long term working at a paint factory just like leads to some health issues. Am I wrong?
I mean, you can get a respirator. I have a respirator, but my nose isn't great anyways. It never has been. So they're like, I had to do the test, and they give you the respirator, and they put a bag over your head, and then like they put this like perfume bottle like in a hole in the bag. They're like, do you smell this? You should be smelling bananas.
Is that a joke? Is this a good
No,
joke?
this is real. this happened.
They just put a plastic bag over your head.
Well, it's like a hazmat hood type
Okay.
bag thing. I don't know how. It's not like a.
Smell this kid smells like bananas.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't smell it, and he's like, good, the respirator's working, and then he like went to sniff it himself. He's like, oh, I can't smell it either. I was I'm like, you're not wearing the respirator, so I don't know if that's functioning properly.
That's scary.
Yeah, but I don't know. It works. I only use it when I make stains because the wood stains are bad.
Wait. How does it? What do you do at the paint factory?
Whatever they tell me to.
What is like a paint factory like?
Well, it's like mixing different coatings. Like there's most of the stuff gets made in house except for like dyes which get brought in from outside, so like color dyes. But like the position I'm in is mostly like someone sees like a color on a cabinet and they pick out the chip, and then I have to find the right percentage of whatever colors I'm putting in to make it look the same in the right lighting. That's what it is. Which is kind of difficult, but whatever.
Well, anyways, you don't smell. You're not stinky.
Yes, that's good. It's more likely I can show up from that job than my last job, because my last job I got coated in plastic dust. So even if like it wasn't a case of like, oh, I can't shower in between work and coming here, it's like I would have been coated in plastic dust, and that stuff did not come off. It was attracted to static electricity, so it would just kind of stick to you.
Nope. I don't know if you just saw that. Luigi just side beat into Zelda and just died with that.
Classic mistake. I've done that many times in my dreams. Just repeatedly side being.
Also, Ty said that he was going to lose to Zach. It's kind of
He was thinking about the football game, and he was
Exactly.
like, I don't want to watch that anymore.
Or it's like, sports fans can be superstitious, so it's just like, if I lose, my team loses.
If I watch the game will fall apart.
Exactly. Some people are legitimately like that, though, like sports.
Yeah, people talk about sports at work, and I'm like, I didn't watch the game. I don't know what's going on. My favorite is when I would do pizza delivery, because I'd be like trying to listen to the game, and the only reason I'd be trying to listen to the game on the radio is because people would like ask me about it when I gave them the pizzas, and I would like show up with like a bag of pasta and pizza for like this house, and like wings and stuff. Wings were common with football Sundays.
You're watching the game.
Yes.
No, I'm delivering pizza.
No, straight up. I would pull up and like I would go ring the doorbell. They're like, did you just see that last throw Tom Brady had? I'm like,
You saw it.
I'm
You saw it
no,
on,
I didn't.
You saw it on like the DVD player of your minivan.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yes, I have been watching the game the whole time. I don't know how I got here. Yeah, I don't think it's like the joke with like the waiter, like, enjoy your food, thanks, you too. Except like it's the equivalent of that, but people buying pizzas.
Exactly.
Oh, you see the
Watching the game.
You see that hat trick? Nope. No, I didn't.
That hat trick.
Yeah, hockey. I don't know. Hockey ain't. It was always football people, because like that's when you get like the wings and stuff.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And all that.
Yeah, I remember like watching the basketball, like the Celtics game once. And I felt like, I don't know, because my girlfriend's families are all super into sports, and I was just kind of sitting there like confused, feeling like the odd man out.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. I've never paid that much attention to most sports. The only thing the only team I ever followed at all was like the Bridgeport Bluefish in Connecticut, which is a baseball team. And the only reason I did that is because I used them for white noise when I was working on projects, so I'd listen to the game if it was on. But yeah, it happens all the time right now. It's like it worked. Like you get like, oh, you see the game last night? Yeah, I saw that throw. I could have done better. It's like, okay, yeah. Yeah, I bet you could have. That's why you're here. Yep. Show me right now.
Uncle Rico.
That's an edgy DDD skin.
I know.
It's alright. It's like the same color red I have in my shoes right now.
I like how he has black gloves. Right?
Yeah. That's like a... Yeah. That's like if you had a game starring DDD where the plot was the same as a Kirby game. So it's like Kirby's like, someone stole my cake, so I'm just gonna run around and like murder people until I get my cake back. And it's like, okay. But like he's cute, so it's whatever. But that's like the like bloodlusted DDD version of it. You know what I mean? He gets like upset over something. He's like, I'm putting on the black and red clothes right now. That's probably next, a DDD horror movie. If you think about it, like his like his laugh, like they're doing a Winnie the Pooh one, ain't they? So
there used to be this like really weird like web show. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like based on Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But it was like a detective like crime drama. This is like back in 8th grade, like years ago. And Kirby was like a weird cannibal. He was like the Hannibal Lecter, like so he was like behind bars and Luigi had to go to him to like.
This sounds like familiar, but I don't know if I have any idea if it's just like if I've seen it or if like my headcanon is like somehow the same.
This is like
I feel like I've probably seen it. Like this is like like Zelda CDI years?
No, this is like around like 2008, I'd say.
Not Zelda CDI years.
What?
That's like Zelda YouTube poop, like CDI.
Yeah, it was like
okay, yeah.
It was like YouTube poop era kind of stuff, like before YouTube was like the monster it was now.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was on YouTube. It was just like some weird like web
Oh,
series.
was it Newgrounds or something?
I have no idea.
There was an old YouTube poop that I've never found, and it probably wasn't even funny, but I only remember one shot, and the Squatala guy comes down to the balcony on the carpet, and he flies down, and there's a Volkswagen Beetle parked there, and he crashes into it, and then just flies off. And it probably wasn't even funny, but I like, occasionally I'll try to find that, and
It's
I've
like
never
a core
found
memory.
that.
Like,
Yeah, I just like, sometimes I think about it, and I want to go look it up, and I'm just like, I've never found it.
I always found like that era of like YouTube, like comedy, just very weird. Like
Yeah, it's absurd kind of looking back at it.
it is absurd.
It's very random. It kind of evolved. Like, you get, like, the Michael Rosen YouTube poops, like, a couple years later where people are making, like, this whole story about Michael Rosen versus the lollipop lady in Brazil, and there's, like, 20 characters, and it's, like, kind of impressive how they're keeping track of everything and just editing all this nonsense out of, like, a couple stories.
The YouTube lore is getting crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I have to find that though, because that's that crime drama based on Brawl, because that's was the plot. And Kirby was like a cannibal. He was like a killer, and I feel like that would make for a good horror movie, right?
Maybe. Like, I want to say yes, but I'm also kind of, like, half expecting it from Kirby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas DDD would catch me off guard more. So that's why I'm like, DDD like
Just
dancing around, smashing a hammer, going ho ho ho, is like I wouldn't expect. I feel like if Kirby was the red herring,
just loses
and
and eats a man.
if Kirby was the red herring and DDD was the real antagonist, because I would expect it from Kirby.
Right, you're right.
It's kind of like the Winnie the Pooh horror movie, right? Like Winnie the Pooh is like obviously the bad guy.
Wait, there's a Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
Yeah, he's public domain now. All the characters except for Tigger are public domain.
Isn't
That's the only one they kept the copyright on. So they're making a Winnie the Pooh horror movie, and it looks pretty bad
cool.
because people can do it, so they're just gonna do it. But like, it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't look good is the problem. They could have done it like better. With like, I get they probably have a limited budget, but there's a way to work with that, and they just kind of, I feel like, went the wrong route.
Yeah, I feel like that has so much potential, like, right? Something
Oh, yeah.
domain, like, it's like we can just do anything we want with it.
Yeah, especially with all the goofy like creepypasta stuff, like, especially if you want to take the piss out of it, it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Like Winnie the Pooh with like blood coming out of his eyes, and it's like, oh, he's anti-Pooh. It's like, it's like, oh man, like that would be great, but I don't know. Like, I feel like the best route they could possibly take is if Pooh's a fake out, like you think Pooh's the antagonist, and then it turns out like,
It was Piglet all along.
yeah, well, Piglet I feel like is the Kirby situation where he's too cute. You know he's gonna like murder somebody.
Or Eeyore.
Yeah, like I feel like it has to be like, what's the rabbit's name?
I can't remember.
Yeah, that one, the can't remember rabbit person. If he was just like stabbing people to death with carrots, and that was like, I thought it was Pooh, but it was actually the rabbit, and then he was like, it turns out like he had rabies the whole time.
Speaking of public domain, I know, correct me if I'm wrong, like Mickey Mouse is be public domain in a few years.
He won't be.
No?
No.
How do you avoid being public domain?
Extending copyright laws. Literally, the only reason copyright laws last as long as they do right now is because Disney doesn't want to lose Mickey Mouse, so they keep paying more, basically, to extend the law. Because, like, originally the whole idea is, like, okay, like, I think originally it might have lasted, like, 20 years after creation, and then it was, like, public domain. And then eventually it expanded to lifetime of the creator, and now it's, like, lifetime of the creator plus 70 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
they,
like...
They really don't want us to do fucked up shit to Mickey Mouse.